This is NBC Connecticut News at 11.
Torn between the woman she is becoming and the woman she has been, Stratford's Sheila Hageman is learning about life as it comes. The former stripper and now mother of 3 shares her personal story of self-acceptance in her memoir, Stripping Down. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me here.
Critics call this memoir painfully honest. And we've got to ask, what made you decide to become a stripper?
That's quite a question. Lots of different things led into me becoming a stripper. I think a lot had to do with my childhood, and then I also think I found my dad's porn chest when I was 13. This was right after my parents' divorce. So I think I found these images and they ignited in me this feeling of wanting to be special and be seen. And from that point on, I developed a career in acting and modeling, and from there it was just almost a natural progression where I ended up becoming a stripper.
How many years was it?
I stripped for about 6 years altogether.
6 years. But you know, what's interesting to me is you're unapologetic about the choices that you have made. So I'm curious, why did you decide to write this book? Do you want to let people know that you can make some decisions that maybe aren't the best, but you can continue on that path? It doesn't have to be a straight path.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the most important things about the book is that I don't apologize for my life. I think that obviously there are choices that I made along the way that I'm not exactly proud of, but at the same time, all the choices I made me the woman I am today. And I think it's a really important message for women, because I think a lot of times we feel like we are not allowed to make mistakes along the way, and we feel like we need to cover that up. So a big part about writing this book was to let women know it's okay. We've all made certain choices along the way, and it doesn't define who we are and who we can become.
And considering you're a mother of 3,
yes.
I'm sure you've heard some great things about your book. I'm sure you've had critics. What are each of the sides saying? Let's be honest here.
Okay. Well, the good side, I'm hearing from a lot of women, and even some men, but mostly women, that they are feeling like I'm expressing things that they were never able to express. And even though not every woman obviously was a stripper or a nude model, a lot of women have obviously had some kind of a issue while they were dealing with their sexuality growing
Maybe
up.
a body issue or something
Exactly.
like that.
Definitely lots of body issue, self-image, and that my book helps them to articulate what they've experienced and to feel like I'm speaking for them.
And critics?
Critics say, how can you do this? How can you write a book about something that most women should hide, that you don't want your children to know about? I have 1 daughter and 2 sons, and so of course it is in the back of my mind, how are they going to take in what I have done with my life? But my policy, I believe, is honesty, and it's honesty in a way that they can understand. So it doesn't mean I'm going to tell them about all the lurid stuff in my past, but I have to understand that one day they probably will read some of my work. So I'm preparing them, and I'm hopefully raising them with a really strong sense of self and a strong sense of their own sexuality and body image from a young age, so that they will be able to handle it.
And that's your advice to your kids, is saying, not necessarily follow by my example, but you can learn from maybe perhaps my mistakes.
And my honesty.
And your
I
honesty,
think,
yes.
That regardless of what our lives bring and how we approach our lives, that we can always begin again, we can always make different choices.
And these days you're writing, right?
Yes.
What's next? Before we go, I know we have to go, but...
so many different projects. Right now I am working on a writing book for women, specifically for mothers who want to start getting their words out there.
We appreciate you being so candid and frank. We're glad you're here.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Well, up next, one of the best kept secrets in pop culture.